So as of Friday, May 1st, 2026, Nemours Children's Hospital has officially locked me out of my daughter's MyChart account. When I contact Nemours, they told me that her account has been deactivated. I asked why. They say I have to contact medical records. I asked why would I have to contact medical records? I've been accessing her account this whole time, no problem, and it's my legal right to access my daughter's account. The person I spoke to was very friendly. She was very helpful, and she did her best to try to reactivate the account, but it would not allow her to. So she said she'll create a ticket for me and have someone contact me. Today is May 4th, 8:09 p.m., and I have not been contacted. On February 2nd, 2024, my daughter was transferred from HCA Hospital in Kissimmee, Florida, to Nemours Children's Hospital on Nemours Parkway in Orlando, Florida, due to them having a hard time putting in her PICC line. If you're a Nicu mommy, then you know what a PICC line is in her. So Nemours has this machine, I think it's called POCUS or PICUS, I don't remember the correct name, where it centralized the PICC line and it's like really easy to put in these micro babies. So she was transferred there because they needed assistance. Fine. When she left HCA, she did not have sepsis. She was at high risk for it because she was a premature baby, but she did not have sepsis. And also she did not have a hard abdominal, which today we call neck. And you see, might I add, when she was at HCA, she was getting mommy's breast milk. Okay, not donor, but mommy's, because I was pumping and she was getting her milk. Okay, so that's it with HCA. They're out of the picture. Now, when she got at Nemours, the first sign of problem that I noticed is that they were not wearing gloves. Some of the nurses were, yes. Some of the physicians were, yes. However, if you've watched my 3 videos that I posted on my page, the full length videos on TikTok and on YouTube, you will see. And I have much more videos and pictures of them not using gloves when it comes to changing her IVs, changing her feeding tube, or fixing it. Dr. Chua, a neonatal physician, changing or inserting an IV into her skull while blood is coming out with no gloves. And when I asked her, she said because the PICC line was so small, it was easier for her to do with no gloves. That's what she told me. Okay. February 9th was the first sign at Nemours of sepsis. She didn't come there with it. She came there with the risk because she was a micropreemie. But February the 9th, Dr. Singh at 4:17 p.m. documented on his shift that Dream had possible sepsis. Don't mistake it. I'm not saying she was the healthiest because she was a micropreemie at 1 pound 5 ounces. I'm saying what the facts show in the medical records. Okay? All right. So between January 27th, when she was born, through February the 2nd at HCA, she was at risk for sepsis. Okay? Once she reached out Nemours, the second, that's like what? A week later, Dr. Singh officially upgraded her status to possible sepsis. That's what the medical notes say. Okay? All right. February 13th, again, possible sepsis. Did nobody test for this? Like, I'm confused. Between the 9th and the 13th, what happened? Were we not testing to see if she had it or not? Now, how does one get sepsis? Google is our friend. If you watch Love and Hip Hop, you've heard Spice's story about her getting sepsis and almost losing her life. She is a grown adult. Now, we're talking about a premature baby getting sepsis, okay? Now, how does one get one? In the NICU, Google is our friend, but I'm gonna put it here for you. It comes from IV changing, feeding changing, breathing tubes, the environment, bacteria touching these things. At this time, I have not touched my baby, meaning skin to skin. I haven't touched her, okay? 1 pound 5 ounces. And we've seen in the previous, like I said, in my videos and just that I posted, they were not using gloves. I have date stamps on every video, every picture. They were not touching. I did not miss a day from visiting my baby at Nemours. And so many times I've witnessed them touching this micro baby with no gloves. So that's how one gets sepsis in the NICU, allegedly. I just want to say this. Dream is O negative. For some reason, along the line, they have Dream as B negative. My baby blood type was not B negative. She was O negative because that's how she tested at HCA. I'm B negative. They put me in the records as B positive and Dream as B negative when Dream was O negative. It was retested later on when she, well, at Nemours, and they changed it and said, oh, you're right, she was O negative. Somewhere along the line it was mixed up. Mixed up? Mixed up. All right. The first week of Dream being admitted to Nemours was a fucking shit show. Let me tell you, her records, it gets worse than this. This sepsis is so minor compared to how far this goes, okay? February 9th, possible sepsis. February 13th, possible sepsis. But she was already on antibiotics, so I'm guessing it was doing what it was supposed to do. The confirmation will come a little bit later. So this picture was taken on February the 15th. I always was asking them, at the time I was asking them, why is her tummy so hard? And why is it so dark? They told me it was gas. Whole time it was neck, allegedly, right? Okay. So the nurse on February 14th notes that Dream's stomach was distended and firm. Dr. Tweedy, I don't have an issue with her because she did what she was supposed to do. Sent Dream for an x-ray. It came back that morning and it was saying her stomach, go back a little bit, February 14th, the nurse measured Dream's stomach at 22.5 centimeters. When she went for the x-ray and the results came back that morning at 4-ish a.m., it basically said that it decreased to 21 cm, right? Okay. When they took her back to, and it was soft, a little bit softer than before. When they took her later on that day around 11 o'clock, the results came back after 12 and it said that it was distended and firm again, okay? So those were the dates for the next suspicion. Also on February 17th, the note at 4 p.m. from Nurse Sydney said that her stomach went back up to 22 centimeters and it was distended again. So it was basically a yo-yo with her tummy. So 2 days later, February the 17th, now at this time, they were like introducing me to like help clean her, wipe her down, stuff of that nature. And I noticed they had a gauze covering Dream's forearm. And she's like, okay, don't move that because we have to. No, she just told me don't move it. But when she went to the sink, I moved it and I found this hole, right? Okay. Medical record says it came from the previous PICC line, right? Okay. Look what they put in medical records. This is not how it looked. You guys cleaned it up and you put it in her medical records like this. No, you were supposed to put both pictures up. A hole in my child's arm, my 1 pound, 5 ounce baby's arm from an infected PICC line because you guys refuse to wear gloves, which I have the pictures of and videos, but I'm going to continue to say alleged so you guys don't take my pages down. And this is not how it looked. It was worse than this. This is the aftermath, but you only put the aftermath in her medical records. There's no picture of this, but this is how it really looked. Now that happened in front of me, meaning me witnessing the hole in her arm. Let's talk about what didn't happen in front of me. For instance, that same morning, February 17th at 5:36 a.m., Dr. Chua mischanged an IV in a baby's head while it's bleeding with no gloves on, did a babygram x-ray to test her breathing, to see make sure her breathing tube was where it was supposed to be. I think that was just like normal procedure. Dr. Stephen Brinston returned the facts findings as, I have it right here. The fact finding was and I might be pronouncing all of this wrong, but I'll show you guys. Endotracheal tube terminates in the mid-thoracic trachea, which means it was in a safe position. It was stable. However, Heather Wheeler, I don't know where you came from. Heather Wheeler at 6:29, less than an hour later, did an emergency chest x-ray on Dream. Why? 6:47, this is where the problem lies. Excuse me, not even the problem. This is where the error was revealed by the same Dr. Stephen Bresson showed that the tube had moved deep into the right mainstream bronchus, meaning, you know the breathing tube that's taped to these babies' faces? Is no way that could have been pushed so deep into her right lung that it was pushing air into her right lung and fluid into her left lung. Let's talk about it. Now, looking at the medical records, it doesn't say what happened, when it happened, how it has happened. It doesn't say nothing, but when I did some more research, this can only happen a couple ways, right? Mishandling someone or a baby, physically adjusted, right? Someone intentionally push it down there because it wasn't that 1 pound baby, or it slipped during care. If any of you nurses or you, Heather, was doing care with a 1-pound micro premature baby, how hard, do you know how hard you had to push? Or that was intentionally done. That's my opinion. It was intentionally done, because there's no way that tube is hard as hell. It's a firm tube. It's pushed down. It's taped. It's tape. I have a video and a picture of that day. It's taped down. So how was that tube pushed down in her, dangerously pushed down in her right lung, for that to happen? Because there's nothing in her medical records saying what happened or who did it. So Dr. Trio was the one on record that morning to check to see if the tube was still okay, and it was. You, Heather, came back less than an hour later and did an emergency x-ray to check it. But why? Because there's nothing in the medical records. It's nothing. I even went and I dig deeper. I'm like, well, maybe she put it someplace else, and I haven't found it. I have not found it, because it's not there. However, Dr. Stephen Brinson put in his notes. Then there's another physician as well put in his notes the following day on the 19th, which basically states the breathing tube is back on the mid-trachea. So, or right here, I don't know where it is. Heather, what the fuck happened to my child, and why you do to my child? Because I'm confused. So that was February 17th. Let's go ahead and skip to February 21st. It's like every other day it was something crazy that was happening. It's like this baby couldn't even rest her damn body to even heal, because it was always some fuck shit with fucking Nemours. So on February 21st, there's a critical error with her feeding tube. 4 days ago, it was her breathing tube. Now is the feeding tube, okay? Because somewhere along the line, it was pulled on top of her, out of her stomach, and the 2 side holes was resting on top of her esophagus. I can't even make this up. It's in the medical records. I can't make this up. So while the feeding tube was on top of her esophagus when it was supposed to be in her stomach, sepsis was finally confirmed on February 21st by Dr. Twitty. I can't make none of this shit up. This is in her medical records. Mind you, it was first suspected from February the 9th. But again, she was already on antibiotics. But February 21st is when they confirmed that she had sepsis.